Back in 1983, the man I was ashamed of, the man I couldn't be, watched him sink beneath the surface, thought he'd gone for good. The river hid the man I used to be, like I hoped it would. For years I walked that riverbank, pretending he was dead. Built a new life on the shore, new thoughts inside my head. But deep down in the current, he was waiting in the deep. The river hid the man I used to be, wouldn't let him sleep. The river hid the man I used to be, kept him safe below, while I pretended up above that I'd let him go. The river hid the man I used to be, but he was still alive. Then one day the water level dropped from lack of rain, and I saw him lying there, preserved in all his pain. God said, son, you can't drown who you were, but I can make him new. The river hid the man I used to be, but Jesus pulled him through. You can't hide from your past by throwing it away. The river keeps what's hidden until redemption day. The river hid the man I used to be, till I was ready to face the person I was running from, and meet him with God's grace. The river hid the man I used to be, now he's reconciled. Yeah, the river hid the man I used to be, and we're both God's child. Now I thank that river for keeping him alive. The river hid the man I used to be, till I could survive. I was sitting at the bar around 3:30, nursing my fifth of whiskey, feeling sorry for me. Then I felt a presence, turned and saw him clear. When my ghost sat down beside me, filled me up with fear. He looked like I did 20 years ago, before the fall, before the drinking and the lying, before I lost it all. His eyes were full of sadness, staring at what I'd become. When my ghost sat down beside me, I wanted to run. When my ghost sat down beside me and ordered him a beer, the man I used to be was sitting right here. When my ghost sat down beside me, I couldn't look away. He said, brother, what happened? Where did we go wrong? I couldn't give him answers, couldn't find the words to the song. But then Jesus sat down with us, third chair at the bar. When my ghost sat down beside me, he said, I know who you are. Sometimes we meet our past face to face and true. God brings us to that moment so He can make us new. When my ghost sat down beside me, I saw what I had lost. But Jesus sat down with us and He paid the cost. When my ghost sat down beside me, we both found grace. Yeah, when my ghost sat down beside me and Jesus took our place. Now my ghost and I are walking side by side as one. When my ghost sat down beside me, the healing had begun. I've been running down that highway for 1,000 miles or more, trying to outrun my demons, trying to settle some old score. But my legs finally gave out, couldn't take another stride. God waited where my footsteps ended, standing by my side. I collapsed right there upon the asphalt, face down in defeat. Thought my journey was over, thought I'd reached my final beat. But when I looked up from the pavement, I saw Him standing there. God waited where my footsteps ended, answering my prayer. God waited where my footsteps ended at the finish of my race. Right where I stopped running, He was waiting in that place. God waited where my footsteps ended and He picked me up again. He said, son, I've been following behind you every mile you ran. Knew exactly where you'd stop, had it written in my plan. Now I'm walking, not running, with His hand in mine. God waited where my footsteps ended, right on time. The end of our running is the start of His grace. He's always been waiting at that stopping place.
God waited where my footsteps ended, where I could run no more.
Picked me up and carried me to heaven's shore. God waited where my footsteps ended, now never left my side. Yeah, God waited where my footsteps ended, now He's my only God. Now I'm not running anymore, just walking slow and steady. God waited where my footsteps ended and
He was always ready.
God waited where my footsteps ended, never left my side. Yeah, God waited where my footsteps ended. Yeah, now He's my only guide. Now I'm not running anymore, just walking slow and steady. God waited where my footsteps ended, and He was always ready. I set fire to my reputation, burned it to the ground. Everything they'd called me, every lie that made the rounds. Standing in the embers, watching smoke rise to the sky, a prayer rose from the ashes of my name, and I don't know why. I didn't speak the words myself, couldn't find my voice, but something in the burning offered up a holy choice. The fire had consumed my past, everything I'd claimed. A prayer rose from the ashes of my name. A prayer rose from the ashes of my name, like incense to the Lord. When everything was burning, it was worship He adored. Prayer rose from the ashes of my name, and God answered from above. He said, son, you're not defined by what they've called you through the years. I'm giving you a new name, washed in mercy, dried by tears. Now I answer to redeemed, to forgiven, to His own. A prayer rose from the ashes of my name, and I was shown bridge. Sometimes we have to burn what others said we were, so God can give us new names that will forever endure. A prayer rose from the ashes of my name, like a phoenix from the fire. Turn my shame to worship, my regret to holy choir. Prayer rose from the ashes of my name. Now I'm called His child. Yeah, prayer rose from the ashes of my name, and I'm reconciled. Now when people ask my name, I tell them what is true. A prayer rose from the ashes of my name, and God made me brand new. I'd left it on the roadside years ago when times got tough. Thought I didn't need it, thought I was strong enough. But walking back through history, retracing where I'd been, I found my faith bleeding in the dust, barely breathing verse. It was wounded, it was broken, lying on the ground, but still alive, still waiting, still making that faith sound. I knelt down in the dirt and picked it up with care. I found my faith bleeding in the dust. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, where I left it long ago. Wounded but not dead, still had a holy glow. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, and I brought it back to life. I cleaned off all the dirt and blood, held it to my chest, asked God to heal what I'd abandoned, give it rest. He said, son, your faith never died, just waited for your return. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, felt my spirit burn. What we leave behind, God keeps safe and true, waiting for the moment when we're ready to renew. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, but it's healing now with time, growing stronger daily, walking in the divine. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, now it's standing tall. And it's bleeding nevermore. I left it on the roadside years ago, when times got tough. Thought I didn't need it, thought I was strong enough. But walking back through history, retracing where I'd been, I found my faith bleeding in the dust, barely breathing verse. It was wounded, it was broken, lying on the ground, but still alive, still waiting, still making that faith sound. I knelt down in the dirt and picked it up with care. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, lifted up a prayer.
I found faith bleeding in the dust,
where I'd left it long ago. Wounded but not dead, still had a holy glow.
I found faith bleeding in the dust,
and I brought it back to life for us three. I cleaned off all the dirt and blood, held it to my chest, asked God to heal what I'd abandoned, give it rest. He said, son, your faith never died, just waited for your return. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, felt my spirit burn. What we leave behind, God keeps safe and true, waiting for the moment when we're ready to renew. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, but it's healing now with time, growing stronger daily, walking in the divine. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, now it's standing tall. Yeah. And it conquered all. Now my faith is stronger than it ever was before. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, and it's bleeding nevermore. I'd left it on the roadside years ago when times got tough. Thought I didn't need it, thought I was strong enough. But walking back through history, retracing where I'd been, I found my faith bleeding in the dust, barely breathing for dust. It was wounded, it was broken, lying on the ground, but still alive, still waiting, still making that faith sound. I knelt down in the dirt and picked it up with care. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, lifted up a prayer. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, where I left it long ago. Wounded but not dead, still had a holy glow. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, and I brought it back to life. I cleaned off all the dirt and blood, held it to my chest, asked God to heal what I'd abandoned, give it rest. He said, son, your faith never died, just waited for your return. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, felt my spirit burn. What we leave behind, God keeps safe and true, waiting for the moment when we're ready to renew. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, but it's healing now with time, growing stronger daily, walking in the divine. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, now it's standing tall. Yeah, I found my faith bleeding in the dust, and it conquered all. Now my faith is stronger than it ever was before. I found my faith bleeding in the dust, and it's bleeding evermore. The door was hanging off its hinges, barely standing there. My life was just as broken, full of despair. I thought nobody'd come around, thought I was all alone. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door, a gentle tone. I almost didn't answer, thought it was a mistake. Who would come to visit, someone for my sake? But the knocking kept on going, patient, soft and kind. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door, and I opened mine. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door, didn't mind the mess, didn't care about the damage, just offered me his best. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door, and walked right in. It was Jesus standing there with love in his eyes. Said, son, I've been knocking for years, I heard your cries. He walked into my brokenness and made himself at home. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door. I'm not alone. Mercy doesn't need a perfect entryway. It comes through broken doors and decides to stay. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door in my darkest hour. Didn't wait for me to fix things, just showed His holy power. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door. Now He lives with me. Yeah, I heard mercy knocking on my broken door and set this captive free. Now my door stays open, broken as it is. I heard mercy knocking on my broken door, and now this house is His. There were prayers stuck in my throat for 30 years or more. Words I should have spoken, but I kept them stored. Then the wind came rushing through one autumn day. The wind returned the words I never prayed. Let them find their way. It carried all my unspoken confessions to the sky, every plea for mercy that I'd swallowed with a lie. The wind became my voice when I had lost my own. The wind returned the words I never prayed. They were finally known. The wind returned the words I never prayed, spoke them to the Lord. Every silent supplication, every word I couldn't afford. The wind returned the words I never prayed, and God heard every one. I stood there in that windstorm, feeling prayers I never said, washing over me like rain, bringing life to what was dead. God said, son, I've heard them all, the spoken in the night. The wind returned the words I never prayed, and I was caught. Prayer don't need a voice, don't need to be out loud. God hears the hearts crying through the wind and through the cloud. The wind returned the words I never prayed when I couldn't speak, gave voice to my silence, made the mute to seek. The wind returned the words I never prayed. Now I pray out loud. Yeah, the wind returned the words I never prayed, and I'm no longer proud. Now I let the wind carry every prayer I need to say. The wind returned the words I never prayed, and taught me how to pray. I was hiding in the shadow of that rugged wooden cross, trembling like a leaf, feeling every loss. My hands were shaking so hard I couldn't hold them still. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam on that hill. I couldn't stop the trembling, couldn't make it cease. Every nerve was firing, I'd lost all my peace. But standing in that shadow, something touched my soul. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam, made me whole. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam. When I couldn't stand, reached down through my trembling and took me by the hand. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam and stilled my every fear. The shaking didn't stop immediately, but it changed somehow. Not from fear and guilt, but from reverence now. I'm still trembling daily, but it's different than before. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam, opened up the door. Sometimes we keep shaking, even after we've been saved. But the trembling under grace is how the righteous are made brave. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam, transformed my every fear, turned my anxious trembling into reverence sincere. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam. Now I shake with joy. Yeah, grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam, and nothing can destroy. Now I still shake sometimes, but it's from awe, not dread. Grace found me shaking beneath the crossbeam, where Jesus' blood was shed. I was hiding in the shadows, running from the light, thinking I could keep my secrets buried in the night. But the darkness started speaking, whispered in my ear. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, made it clear. It said you can't hide forever, can't outrun the truth. You're wasting all your days here, throwing away your youth. I covered up my ears, but the message still came through. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, what I knew. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, the truth about my soul, that I was broken, I was lost, and not in control. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, but it was what I needed most. Turns out God was speaking through the very place I'd hide, using darkness as his messenger to break my pride. Now I thank the shadows for the truth they made me face. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, led me to his grave. Sometimes truth comes wrapped in what we try to flee. God uses every circumstance to set his children free. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, but needed to be said, that I was dying in my sin and spiritually dead. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear, then led me to the light. Yeah, the darkness told me what I didn't want to hear and made everything right. Now I listen to hard truths, no matter where they're from. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear and led me to the sun. The darkness told me what I didn't want to hear. Oh, the darkness told me what I didn't want to hear. My shadow knew before I did that I was gonna fall. Started running from my footsteps, leaving me in awe. You tried to escape the reckoning that was coming for us both. God met me where my shadow tried to run and took an oath. I chased after my shadow down that lonesome road, trying to catch my darkness and carrying my load. But when I reached the place where it had stopped its flight, God met me where my shadow tried to run. Then I know
God met me where my shadow tried to run,
at the end of fleeing,
where darkness meets the light,
and starts believing.
God met me where my shadow tried to run,
Brought us back together. to run. Made peace between us two. Showed me that my darkness needs redemption too. God met me where my shadow tried to run. Now we walk as one. Yeah, God met me where my shadow tried to run. We face things side by side. God met me where my shadow tried to run. Became a guide.